second, Mr. Chairman. They waited to the last minute. They put the new camera in yesterday at noon.
No problem. These things are gonna happen for a while.
Keep cable. And I'll give you this.
Joe will be all set too with the.
When did you get it?
Back to you from home?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. You get to go back, you know, I covered a couple nights with my mother. It is what it is, right? She's ready to go. It's just gonna take a little time.
I should have, but I didn't.
Okay. I did not. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
We're good.
very good. Thanks, Chris. Okay, folks, we're gonna go into our audit and finance, committee meeting. I'm gonna turn this over to, Christine, and we're gonna talk about our numbers here, our numbers for the month. Christine.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. You all got a copy of my written report, and it includes the P&L through the end of July, 4 months ending, plus $2 million operating income, and that's really due solely to those COVID dollars that we've been able to tap into. But we do expect through the next 8 months that those incomes will come down. The objective is to get to a balanced budget at the end of the year. The real story here, as we've been talking about, and you're all very aware, is that everything that's going on with our P&L is being affected by this COVID pandemic. Revenues are down, expenses are down, and like I said, those COVID dollars are way up under the federal operating assistance. If you'll take note, in my board report, I do give you an update on the COVID dollars and the amounts that we did receive and the amounts that have been spent to date. Also, it appears that the STOA dollars are going to hold 7% reduction. So right now, it's a matter of us balancing the use of our funds so that we don't overdraw on those COVID dollars and wind up with an operating income at the end of the year.
Christine,
Does anyone have any questions?
Go ahead.
Pardon me?
yeah, your phone was going in and out. Can you restate the STOA reduction number, please? Percentage?
Yeah. So in my written report, there is a narrative regarding the COVID dollars and how much we received in total and what we've spent down to date. So in a first round, we received $28 million of COVID dollars. We put aside $250,000 for capital, and we have spent $13.4 million through the end of July. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted everyone to also hear the STOA reduction that she said was 27% for the first quarter. And we were notified that the second quarter is going to be 27% reduction as well.
I'm not surprised.
And and actually, Lynn, I'm going to have Lynn talk about the county match because she just informed me of something this morning. But did I restate what you wanted me to restate, Brian?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions regarding the COVID dollars, the STOA dollars, the P&L?
Just explain also a little bit on, as everyone can see in my report, I listed the amounts that we've drawn down. There was a very small amount for last month because we have to offset that by revenue received. So if we can just get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as we are, again, it's very challenging because it's a changing situation every day. So we want to make sure that we do not overdraw the COVID dollars we wind up with this big, huge operating income at the end of the year. And now that we had to draw those initially because the STOA was uncertain and we needed the cash. But now that we know what the STOA is going to do, and it appears that the STOA is going to hold at a 27% reduction. So we're managing this so that for cash flow purposes, we want to make sure that we have enough cash to make our obligations, and at the same time, not bringing down too much of the COVID revenue to wind up in an operating income position at the end of the year. So there's a lot of moving parts, and the accounting team is literally watching this practically on a day-to-day basis. So we have to be very strategic to make sure we have the cash on the one hand, but not be drawing down too much so that we wind up with this big, huge operating income at the end of the year. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great.
How's the,
I'm glad I was able.
yeah, Christine, how is the communication with some of the agencies for revenue? Any other indications on reductions in any other types of aid at this point?
Yes, actually, well, Lynn, you want to speak to that because she just got some information, I believe, yesterday from the county.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, just yesterday we learned we had received the 18B match from Onondaga County, and it wasn't the amount we were expecting. It was actually higher. We reached out to New York State DOT to find out what was going on and if that was the correct amount or not. And it was not. They remitted incorrectly. They actually should have remitted less. So we found out there is a 20% reduction in all the 18B local matches from the county. So that wasn't something we had anticipated, and we're going to have to make adjustments to that.
And would you just talk a little bit about what the 18B is, just to remind everybody?
Well, it's mandated by law that they have to make the local match to our STOA on a quarterly basis. So usually we remit 1 month after our STOA is received.
And just as a reminder to the board, that 18B mandate from the counties has not been increased in over how many years, Len?
I don't think it's been increased since we took over Oneida, so that would have been back in 2005.
Yeah, so I mean, even prior to that, this is something that's just, they don't, it doesn't escalate at all. So I'm a little surprised that it got reduced, quite frankly, but it is, I guess, you know, we're in strange times.
And it's also probably important to note too, if you look at the financials, you know, our regular line, special line numbers and advertising combined are down around $3 million. So, you know, that's for the period that we weren't charging fares. And then also, even now that we are charging fares, ridership is still down, you know, 45%. So we're losing the passenger line revenue as well.
Someday I'll tell you the story as to why it's 18B and not 18A.
Okay, very good. Okay, so, yeah, good report. Keep us.
I'm sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yep.
Linda, I am going to ask Linda Beata to talk about some of the supplemental reports
Yeah.
that you all received in your board packet.
Yeah, please do. Go
So
ahead,
that you
Linda.
could just highlight some other items.
Yeah, thanks, Linda.
Sure. I'm going to start with our cash flow, which is in your board report. This is through 7/31/20. Cash at this point is $8 million. That includes the insurance reserve of 3.2. Although this is a good cash balance right now, this is going to change. It already has changed in the month of August. This month it was only about $289,000 net in operating, and that's only because we received our $7 million here in the STOA, and that allowed us also to pay back our line of credit. So the cash will change, as Christine said, on a monthly basis, but at this point, it's in a good position. The other statement in your package is the reserve. This has been adjusted to show the prior period adjustments for workers' comp of the 1.8 million. And also, as you can see, we had a $3.2 million gain in fiscal year 20, which gave us a total reserve as of the beginning of this fiscal year of 12.6 million. Now that's not cash, that is reserve. And the other statement of borrowing, we have paid everything back. So we have both our line of credit and our insurance reserve available for use at this time, and we probably will be tapping into those within the next quarter. And lastly, we have our mortgage tax receipts. These have not been impacted by COVID. As you can see, we are about 1% over budget at this time and the same over prior year. So they have been very consistent. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Okay, no, thanks, Linda, that was good. Christine, anything else on the financial statements or those reports?
No, thank you, Nick. That
Okay.
concludes my financial report.
Okay, so I need a motion to bring it to the full board. Robert, second. Noel, all in favor? Okay, moving on to, the approval of Cayuga Community College Auburn Campus Service Renewal. Steve, you're gonna be up for the next three.
Hey, good morning, everybody. The first two agreements are agreements with Cayuga Community College for our services for their Auburn campus and Fulton campus. Essentially, this allows your students to ride our existing bus services for free. We will bill the college at each semester, tally the number of riders, and send them a bill for the ridership. There are some within the contract. There is a hourly rate should we need to add buses to the service because they overload it. That hasn't occurred in a couple of years, and in mid-COVID, I don't anticipate that happening this year at all. So this is just for access to our existing system.
Okay. Any questions? Motion to bring it to the full board. Tina, Darlene, all in favor? Okay. Now on the Fulton campus service renewal?
That is there's Auburn and then there's Fulton.
So what's
those?
I could take the, what do you, Counselor, two motions on that, or?
I'll set it out in the minutes.
Okay,
Whatever
very
you
good.
prefer.
Okay, Oswego, Steve?
And the SUNY Oswego Student Association, they ride our Oswego service for free as well. We will bill them about $40,000 for that access this year based on last year's ridership. In addition, they will pay us $118 per hour for service on our 246, which is a feeder service between Oswego and Syracuse. During breaks and when students are coming to and from campus, they do require us to add additional buses. This is what we'll be billing them for that service. This is based on a board-approved accounting process here, and there is a 3-hour minimum for any bus that we add to service.
Okay, very good. Good keeping the communication with the local colleges. I need a motion for the SUNY Oswego contract. Darlene, second. Noel, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Resolutions. Resolution 3B. Vehicle lift inspections and repair services. Caitlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. So this resolution is for the vehicle lift inspection and repair services contract. This will be paid for using operating funds. The invitation to bid was publicly let on June 26th. We sent out 6 bid packages, 2 of which went to minority and women-owned business enterprises. An additional 2 bid packages, were requested. We received 1 bid on July 17th. That was from Stilltruck Corporation, who is our incumbent vendor. They offered pricing that was consistent with their current contract, with an annual increase every 2% every year, years 2 through 5. There is a full MWBE waiver on this contract for participation. So it is my recommendation that the board award the vehicle lift inspection and repair services contract to Stilltruck Corporation for a full 5-year term.
Okay. Any questions on that? As stated, awarding contract to Stilltruck Corporation for a 5-year term, commencing November 1st, 2020. I need a motion. Robert, second, Darlene, all in favor? Aye. Very good. Okay, resolution 3C, to authorize signature of New York State Rail Grant Agreement. Mr. Moses.
Good morning, everyone. This is a resolution to authorize the CEO to sign a grant agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation for a New York State rail grant in the amount of $650,000. This is a 50% match to a federal grant that we received last year. This will be used for engineering funds for the rail platform at the RTC.
Any questions on that? This is something that we've been working on for a while, correct, DJ?
That is correct. It is a process.
Okay, and it's definitely needed, we know that. There's no questions, any motion for resolution 3C? Robert, second, Tina, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Christine, anything else to discuss at the finance committee meeting?
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman, we're all set.
Thank you. Okay, with that being said, the meeting's gonna conclude here, and why don't we take a few minutes?